Good morning. I'm Stephanie Vatalaro with the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation. I'm pleased to join you today to provide the very latest on fishing participation and our continued efforts to recruit, retain, and reactivate anglers and boaters. Earlier this month, we received preliminary fishing participation information for 2020. Now, usually we hang on to this and we release our full special report on fishing in July. But given what an extraordinary year we had, we really felt like it was important to get these tidbits out early. So we're going to start releasing it in waves this year so that state agencies and industry partners can use this information to plan. The good news, participation is up. Roughly 55 million Americans ages 6 and above went fishing in 2020. That's up from 50 million in 2019. Now, we were projecting this number to be a little bit higher, and I'd be lying if I didn't say we were a little bit disappointed. But when I share some additional details in the following slides, it might help explain why we landed here. We saw tremendous gains in our key segments for growth in fishing. 19.7 million females went fishing in 2020. That's nearly 2 million more than in 2019. 13.5 million youth ages 6 to 17 went fishing in 2020. That's 2.2 million more than in 2019. All Hispanics who went fishing, it totaled 4.8 million. That's an all-time high for that segment. First-time participants increased to 4.4 million. That's over 1 million new first-time participants to fishing. And reactivated participants increased to 9 million, up from 6.8 million in 2019. Historically, 2/3 of new fishing participants lapse out of the sport each year. And while we did make some progress this year compared to last year, it wasn't really enough to post the numbers we were hoping for. Our lapsed participants in 2020 totaled 8.8 million, down slightly from last year's 9.3 million. Who are our lapsed anglers? We saw an increase in lost anglers among all age groups 35 and up, but age 55 plus represents the majority of those lost anglers at 26%. We saw a small increase in the number of women lapsing out of the sport, while the lapse rate for men actually decreased. And African Americans are the only ethnic group measured by this survey who posted a gain in lapsed participants at a modest 1.8%. Why did people lapse? As in years prior, lack of time was the top reason that caused participants to stop fishing. Now, you're going to see in a later slide, people actually had more time in 2020 than they did in previous years, but it's still something that rises to the top. Also cited in the survey, a preference for other outdoor activities. Running usually comes in at number 1. Other things that were cited are biking, hiking, camping, etc. Along with the cost, a loss of interest, and limited access to waterways. So how do we use this and other research to successfully navigate 2021? Harris poll data shows there's a huge opportunity for continued growth in fishing and boating in 2021. 69% of Americans have a renewed appreciation for the outdoors. 65% have turned to outdoor activities to stay safe and sane. Time, which has long been a huge barrier to fishing and boating participation, people actually had more of it in 2020. As many companies are now adopting hybrid work environments that allow for more work from home, we're hopeful this extra time will remain a part of people's lives. And in many cases, people saved money in 2020, and they're ready to spend it. As many of you know, we conducted an extensive research project on 2020's new anglers and boaters to find out who they are, what motivated them to participate, and what's going to keep them coming back. We learned that 2020's newcomers are our growth audiences. To secure the future of our sport, we need to be engaging with young, more diverse, and urban audiences. The research identified 5 key opportunities to keep newcomers engaged in fishing and boating. Number 1, we need to remind newcomers of the great fishing and boating opportunities they had in 2020. In your emails, your social media, show them imagery of the great times they had on the water with friends and family. Share with your customers convenient local fishing and boating access points and seasonal ideas for outings. They want to know where they can go close by to have a successful day on the water. Provide them with easy educational fishing and boating resources like how-to videos and shopping checklists. Emphasize the social aspects of fishing and boating in your outreach. And recommend cost-effective beginning fishing and boating equipment. These are all things that newcomers need help with. And if you can provide them to your customers, they're going to keep coming back to you more and more. RBFF, through its Take Me Fishing campaign, is planning some new initiatives in 2021 to support the retention of new participants. First, we're investing more money in our outreach to consumers. We're putting $9.3 million into R3 activities, such as advertising, PR, social media, web content, and accelerated grants. Second, we're moving into new advertising channels such as streaming TV, where newcomers are consuming media. We're working to make fishing and boating more mainstream through new integrated partnerships with companies like Complex, BuzzFeed, and Hulu. We've also upped our content budget and will be creating hundreds of new blog posts and videos to support the recruitment and retention of participants. We want to help state agencies activate these strategies as well. We just released a new retention toolkit. It's an extension of Get On Board toolkit we provided last summer to help states retain their new customers. That new toolkit contains customizable retention messaging, email templates, infographics, social posts, website plugins, and more. All of the materials are available online at gobtoolkit.com. It'll take you just a few minutes to set up an account, then you have access to everything. Thank you for your time. I appreciate NEAFWA giving us the opportunity to say a few words today. If you have any questions about the research, the toolkit, anything I mentioned today, please feel free to reach out via email and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter for the very latest. Thank you.